February the 12th, 2022, and when I came to this apiary in late November, early December, I think it was, to wrap it, there was one of the 5/5 nucs was dead, so I ended up wrapping 19, and here we still have 19, and it's minus 10 Fahrenheit, which is about minus 20 something centigrade. And it got me musing about the entrance hole size, because in a tree cavity they pick a hole about that size, I believe, which has to suit them for both summer and winter. But of course here, when you're wrapping for winter, you only need an appropriate vent hole for winter. And what is that appropriate size vent hole, and where should the vent hole be? And initially I just started with because I was frightened of mice, about having a vent hole just about as big as my pinky fingers, that we'd say in the US, at the top and also at the bottom down here. This one sometimes gets clogged off with bees, and of course these, as I've spoken about many times, get frozen up. But one effect of that, I initially worried about whether they'd suffocate in there, but that doesn't happen. After 10 years of wintering bees this way, in numbers, I've been wintering bees before, but this is the way I've settled on. That isn't the evidence of that. I don't see that. And then you also think, okay, well, if it's reducing the ventilation, well, do the bees panic and get hot? Well, they must increase their metabolism because of the cold, but because of this little frost hole, the heat can't really go anywhere, except what might come out the front of the hives and the back. On the side I've got insulation, on the top I've got insulation. But if you listen, you can hear them. And that's interesting, because a lot of texts talk about bees wintering in a cluster, and the bees are not moving very much in the cluster. The bees are not buzzing, and there's no sound. And then when you see arguments against insulation, people will say, well, the insulation will make them that more active and they'll burn through that much more honey. But that doesn't bear out in reality. These insulated boxes, on average, I've kept weights for a long time, they lose 25 pounds between the end of October-ish to the middle of March when I weigh them. So just musing that perhaps we've been giving them winter entrances that are just too big, and just by luck I happen to have found one that suits us, at least for this climate. That's all I got. A couple of months, winter will be over.